Today, we will be ranking the number one draft picks in the NBA since the year 2000. Um, we'll base it off potential if they got drafted recently or, for the most part, just how their career's gone. So first, we have Dwight Howard, and it's also relative to the other number one draft picks, not. Dwight's obviously probably an S tier player in NBA history, but I think compared to other number one draft picks, he's probably A tier. This is also only in the 21st century, so since 2000. But yeah, Dwight had a really good career, really great defender, underrated offensively, I'd say. Didn't have insane longevity, which kind of holds him back, but he's a good A tier. Then we have Derrick Rose, probably the hardest one to rank on this whole thing. Obviously the one MVP, but it's hard to decide how does that weigh over a whole career of excellence from some of these other guys. So it's got to be a C. It's so difficult. Here's what I value. And it's kind of my reasoning throughout this is one really good peak season. I know he had multiple, but having longevity and a good career, having that sort of consistency of being a good player throughout a 12, 15 year career and consistently being good is better than having a few years of being excellent. And that's my reasoning behind it. So for that, he goes C. Blake Griffin, he's another one that didn't have insane longevity. I think his career as a whole, I would put higher than Derrick Rose, which I know is a really hot take. But, I mean, Blake had he had a really good peak, and then he had seasons like Detroit where he was a solid player still. And I know Derrick Rose similarly had solid seasons. It's tough to say, man, but these two are subject to change, very subject. John Wall, another one very similar to Derrick Rose, in the sense they got injured a lot. It's hard to rank him, didn't have longevity, but in his peak was really good. So how do you value that? And for me, I think career as a whole, I think I put him above D Rose. Just he didn't have that many. He's the same tier as Derrick Rose. The reason I say that is John Wall really didn't. He didn't have the peak near Derrick Rose did, but he had a little more longevity, even though it wasn't that much more. And so for that reason, I'm gonna put him on the same tier. Kyrie, I think, is A. And I'm thinking maybe moving Dwight down, but we'll keep it like this. Kyrie obviously is still going, has shown he has longevity, had a really good peak, has won championships. Or one? He's only won one championship, I think. Yeah, I think he's only won one. But made finals, had a successful career so far, still is going at a high level. I think he isn't a number one, which was shown on Boston. Maybe you could argue Brooklyn too, but I think he's an A. AD, he's close to being S tier, honestly. He's going A, but I mean, AD, if he wasn't so injury prone, man, he would be a beast. One of the best defensive players in the past decade, probably. And then offensively is a stud as well. And so far, his longevity hasn't been, horrible for someone who's gotten as injured as much as he has. And he's won a championship. He's going to go A. I'm going to leave S for, the true studs. There will only be a few. Anthony Bennett. He's got to go D. And the unfortunate thing is, you look at Greg Oden or someone, and you can really blame that on injuries. You can't do that for Anthony Bennett. He just sucked, right? So he's going D pretty easily. Andrew Wiggins. Okay, so now this makes a dilemma. Okay, I'm gonna move D Rose and John Wall up. All right, because I think that C tier, it's definitely a step above Anthony Bennett. That's for sure. Maybe there should just be a tier here. We're gonna add a tier. We're gonna add a tier below. I wasn't planning on doing this, but bust tier. Right? There we go. Now we can do Oh my goodness. What happened? Okay, give me a second. Okay, we back. Fixed it. We have a bust here now. Here we go. Gonna move this because I think there's very clearly a middle ground between D Rose and Anthony Bennett, and I think that's where Andrew Wiggins fits. Yeah, Andrew Wiggins fits. A solid career. I mean, made an All-Star game, starred in one, and won championship. Not much else to it. Hasn't completed much more besides that. Not much to say. Just solid player. Has had a pretty good career, but not great for a number 1 pick. Cat's gonna go C as well. And the more I look at it, Derrick Rose is so tough, man. But Cat is one of the greatest big man shooters we've ever seen. And while there hasn't been much individual success for winning in his career, I think that type of legacy he's leaving as one of being the best shooters and still having room, he could win championship this year pretty easily. I mean, the Knicks are one of the favorites, and you know, I think he's leading the league in rebounding, which I never would have expected out of Cat. So I think he's a C. I think him and John Wall are very comfortably there, and I think I moved D Rose up. Yeah, I think I like this. Ben Simmons, he's gonna be a D as well. I think Ben Simmons, kind of the dialogue around him has kind of been a little disrespectful. I understand why, but people do forget he was a really, really good player, and you can't really just disregard those years of greatness. But how it all ended in Philly and how it's going in Brooklyn, it's sad. So he's got to go D. And I think kind of the unfortunate thing with him is he gets so much hate. But I mean, after that passed up dunk over Trae Young, the amount of hate he got from NBA and Philly fans, man, like, mentally that must have been really tough. And I know everyone's like, yeah, he has all this money, like he can wipe away his tears with $100 bills, and yeah, I get it. But I think athletes' mental is a very, very underrated, like, part of games, and I think he was probably going through something and people kind of just disregarded that. Okay, Markelle Fultz, he's got to go bust at this point. I don't think he's in the league anymore even. I was really high on him. Most people were. He was drafted ahead of Tatum. Didn't start off good with the whole weird, shooting the free throw like that. I don't know if you could see, but, shooting it like that. Man, that was a tough look. But he kind of had a little mid-career resurgence on Orlando where it was like, wow, this dude might be an NBA player. And he's not. It's kind of sad. So yeah, unless something weird happens, he's a bust. And I'm not projecting him to be an NBA player anytime soon, so that's why I'm not moving him up. Maybe he's still in Orlando, but I don't think so. And even if he does, he doesn't play and wouldn't play. Ayton's not quite a bust, but he isn't great. I mean, he's been consistently like the same player throughout his career, just offensive, like an offensive center that's not great offensively. Like, he's an alright player. He gets a lot of hate for his contract, which, I mean, yeah, he's paid a lot, but he's a fine center, probably like a top 15 in the league. When Phoenix made the championship, he was really good. So I can't put him in the bust tier. He's an NBA player, but he's not like a great one. I think he'll have a solid career. I think he's a little overhated. I don't think he's great. The motor definitely is questionable, but he's solid. He's solid. Definitely not as bad as people say he is. Klingon should play over him though. Klingon's gonna be a beast, regardless of Ayton staying or leaving. Ayton will find a way. And you kind of have to do a little projection for in these next few that are current players that recently got drafted. You gotta do a little projection for it. And for me, I think he can have a Kyrie Irving like career, just because you look at Kyrie, he hasn't had any insane accolades like an MVP or anything, or a Finals MVP, but he has some really iconic moments and won championship. And I think Ant could do that. Already he's a consistent all-star. Defensively is really good as well. I think he can get up to this tier. I just don't know if he'll, like, S tier, is it a chance? I don't think so. I just don't know if he'll have the, to be S tier, like, you have to win championships and have a lot of individual success. Like, I'll just throw it now. Everyone knows it. LeBron, he's S tier, right? That's standard for this list. And I don't think he will be LeBron career. Close to that, even. But yeah, I think he can have a Kyrie Irving-like career. I think that's for sure in the cards. Cade Cunningham, A or B? I think I've gone pretty generously with some of these, so I think I might go B. Because do I really think he'll be Kyrie Irving? Cause I think Kyrie's probably the worst out of the three players besides Ant on there, so that's who I'm comparing to. I don't think he ever will. Obviously, Cade's really good right now. He'll probably be an all-star this year, making his first, but he started off pretty slow. His team is not that great. You know, I don't see him as a guy that's going to have a lot of individual success making all NBA teams and winning an MVP or anything. And do I think he'll win multiple championships? I really don't think so. So he's going to go B. Alright, Wemby. Throw him an S. I know. Crazy. It's not that crazy. Everyone knows Wemby's great. Everyone knows Wemby's great. But will he have a LeBron career? This might be a little generous if we're being real. But you look at him right now, he's probably going to win Depoy. He's going to be an all-star. Realistically, he's probably in the MVP race right now. Been an absolute beast this year. A lot of people don't like him because he shoots a lot of threes, but hey, he's good on him. Let him shoot him, right? I think he's gonna be great, and that's not a hot take. He is going to be a top 10 player when it's all said and done, in my opinion. Obviously, injuries could play a role in that. I'm just projecting. Has a healthy career. San Antonio's a great spot for him. He couldn't have gone to a better spot, really. Like, sky is the limit. And if someone were to tell me 20 years from now, a time traveler tells me he's the greatest player to ever pick up a basketball, wouldn't surprise me one bit. Okay. I think that's Kwame Evans. I think. I don't know for sure, but either way, bust. I mean, not good. If it is Kwame Evans, the most memorable thing about his career is, I think he had a little moment on YouTube there, where he had a YouTube channel or something. Maybe that is, but also the Stephen A. Smith, you know, clip of him roasting Kwame Evans, of course. Is that his name? Okay. Kwame Evans. Okay. Oh dear. That's a bad take by me. Who is this? Kwame Brown. That would be his name. Alright, Kwame Brown. Same difference. Sorry, Kwame Evans on Oregon. A lot of people thought you were an NBA player. I don't. Sorry. But yeah, Kwame Brown. Sorry. Yeah, you're a bust. Okay. Yao. Yao's another tough one. I mean, let's look at his career. Maybe I should have been doing this for more players, but he had such a short prime because of the injuries, obviously. And I've kind of set the standard that, you know, injuries, you know, having a long career is important. I can't put him above D Rose. I don't think I can put him on the tier of D Rose. I think he's got to go C. Like, good career, not a long one. And then the same dude that's above him, Derrick Rose, short career in his prime, better prime. What do you know, I've set that standard, I have to stick to it. Andrew Bogut, he's not bust, he's D. Obviously injuries held him back a lot. I believe foot injuries was the main thing, but he made an all NBA team, I think. early on in his career. Helped the Warriors win a few championships. So, you know, he's had a lot more success than a lot of the dudes on this list. So you gotta give him that. Obviously, individually, not the most success, but he had a good career. You know, wish he would have stayed healthy. Would have been was on the path of being a very, very good player. Bargnani, Andre, whatever. We call him Andre. He's DL, so I believe he made an All-Star game. Other than that, didn't do much. Alright player. Was an NBA player, which is kinda, you know, the standard. Like, if Wiggins is gonna be D tier, so should Bargnani. I have no clue if I'm pronouncing his name right. Sorry if I'm not. Paulo. See, I think there's kind of an echelon of stars, young stars in the league, and it's like Ant's probably, Wemby's probably the highest tier, then Ant, then Paulo, then Cade. I'm missing dudes, of course, but I think Paulo's probably the same tier as Cade. I do think Paulo will be a better player, and has had a better career so far. You know what? I'm really high on Paulo. I think he'll have a great career. Zion, final two here. It's tough to say for him. I mean, New Orleans hasn't been good. He hasn't been good. His health hasn't been good. His taking care of his body hasn't been good. His shooting hasn't been good. But he still has found a way to impact the game, which is weird. I think he's probably C. He made an All-Star game. I don't know. He might be D. I don't think he's in New Orleans for that long, and maybe that change of scenery really will help him. I could see it, but I think C is right. And then Greg Oden. He's got to go bust, unfortunately. You know, injuries. You know, what are you going to do? Right? Greg Oden, when he played, was a good player. I think had he stayed healthy, he would have been a really good player. It's unfortunate. If you see the videos, there's a video of him walking on campus or something, and older woman asks him, she's like, did you play basketball? In that video, you know, it's sad because you see the pain in his eyes. Like, it's a tough one. But yeah, he would have been a good player. So I think that's kind of the glass half full approach to his career. If it wasn't for injuries, he probably would have been maybe not all-star, but a good player. But yeah, that's my list. I'm feeling good about it. Let me know what y'all thought, most importantly, because my opinion, we all know that. Yeah, if you like this type of video, maybe this is a series. If it does good, we do second overall picks, third. We rank some draft classes, and that could be fun. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. See you next time.